I think they get overlooked quite a bit in society, and there's a bit of a stigma too with Aboriginal people, I feel, which is very unfair because not everybody is the same. There's a lot of stigma with a lot of races, which is really unfair, but Aboriginals get a bit of a bad rap.
I first learned about the Education Centre about 22 years ago, when he first started off with my oldest boy. Now he's got my youngest child, he turns 18 at the end of the month.
My name's Tony Cree, and I'm the CEO of the Aboriginal Literacy Foundation, which is a direct descendant of ATAS, the Aboriginal Tutorial Assistance Scheme. In the Ballarat area, we had round about 40 teachers and 2,000 students who were one way or another being tutored by ATAS. The ATAS program was extended to the schools, but it meant there were a lot of kids who didn't go to school who weren't receiving tuition. That's why we started the program, to cover those kids who fell between the cracks.
My name's Tabitha Belshaw. I work with the Aboriginal Literacy Foundation as a volunteer. I come and help on camps and I help on tutoring days as well. My heritage is through my mum. My mum's dad was an Aboriginal and we're from the Wiradjuri people. We have quite an extensive land that we occupied, and I just want my children to know that that's part of their heritage.
My name's Anne Patmore Cooper. I'm a Yorta elder it's just across the border of Victoria and New South Wales in Shepparton, Golden Valley. I'm an educator, volunteer, I'm a childcare officer, I'm a proud mother, very proud grandmother, and I love children.
Well, I believe the Aboriginal Literacy Foundation has brought a lot more positive aspects to literacy for people. I believe it's brought a lot more positive aspects in showing that not everybody is the same. We're here, we're trying to learn, we're involving a lot of different people.
And I've worked with children all my life, and I've watched and learned and seen them suffer. Myself, I had trouble at school. I didn't have tutoring until the welfare department stepped in. Now that's a long time ago. We still need that help. We want it desperately. There are a lot of children that need it.
Around about 50% of non-urban Australian Aboriginal people are not able to read or write. Of children, round about 87% of non-urban Aboriginal children can't read or write. And this is obviously quite disturbing. It's reflected also in the urban school results, which 4 out of 5 Indigenous children are beneath their peers.
I was raised by myself. I never had any other Aboriginal people around me. Therefore, I was an odd person out. Therefore, I didn't want to be that odd person out unless it was out on a sports field. Inside a classroom, we just don't like being boxed in. We like to be outside. Our culture as I was growing up is an outdoor education.
The challenges faced by Indigenous children are the challenges faced by people who are slightly different anywhere. If you stand out and if people think that you're slightly different, you'll be treated differently, then you're left very much on your own and feel very isolated in our system. So one of the great challenges is to bring Aboriginal kids in schools into an inclusive education system so they actually feel part of it.
My mum grew up in an orphanage and was one of the forgotten Australians, and it was a very, very hard life, so she's tried to give us a really good life, and she gets in and helps out as well, and I see how much that makes a difference to her, and it just makes a difference to everybody, and it's showing the community that we're here and we're learning and we're up and coming, and our kids can do everything else that anybody else can do.
We're very interested in, with our heritage teaching program, is that as well as teaching literacy, we invite elders and parents to come and teach aspects of local Aboriginal culture. And by honouring local Aboriginal culture, we find we help enormously with teaching literacy skills. I mean, if it may not sound important to you, but if you're an Aboriginal kid who's felt funny about school for a long while, to have your father or your auntie showing everyone how to weave mats, or your uncle is telling stories about what used to happen in this area hundreds of years ago, it makes you feel very good about being Aboriginal. And so I think this is one of the ways that we help our people to learn, and it's all about learning. If you can make something relevant, people will improve. If it seems irrelevant, why would you bother? A Ballarat Centre was opened in 2003. It's in Sturt Street in the centre of Ballarat. It's very well placed for people driving in with their children from outlying districts. We have 80 volunteers and they play a critical role. We could not possibly run this. We have more than 2,000 students who are tutored at some time during the year. We could not possibly do it without the volunteers. It'd be impossible. So we could not run our organisation without our volunteers. When we started, we expected that we would only be dealing with students in the Victorian state area, possibly extending a little bit into New South Wales. We had no idea that 8 years later we would be spreading as far wide as Northern Territory, Northern Queensland, Northern Western Australia.
The Aboriginal Literacy Foundation encourages my grandchildren, my nieces and nephews, to want to go to school, to want to learn and want to be just as good as anyone else in this country.
The way that viewers can help with the Aboriginal Literacy Foundation is to pop onto our website, have a look and make a donation. Would be excellent, because we need all the help we can get, and the more help that we get, the more we can educate our young people, and that's where the future lies.
As I said, we don't get any government money at all. Anybody who can contribute in any way, if they can get in touch with the Aboriginal Literacy Foundation from the website, any contribution is extremely welcome and will go a long way to what I think is the most important single charitable cause for Aboriginal people. If you can educate young Aboriginal people, you can turn around the situation that exists at the present time.
To the viewers out there, help us, please, help our children.